What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video of F1 2016 Mobile Career Mode. Today we have episode number 4 for the Spanish Grand Prix in Season 1, but don't forget to go and check out the previous episode in China, where, as you can see on screen, we had the first safety car of the series involving DNF for Nico Rosberg of the Mercedes, and that now means Lewis Hamilton is running away with his championship. He's got more than double points, almost, of anybody else, so we're going to see if he can extend that streak today. But anyway, I also want to say a massive thank you to you guys. You've absolutely smashed out the support on that video, so let's try and keep it coming then for the rest of the series. And yeah, let's just get straight into the Spanish Grand Prix, round number 4 of 15 in Season 1. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya here in Spain for what is expected to be a very closely contested race.
So then we start last on the grid in Spain because my Q1 lap was deleted because of track limits and corner cutting. So that's fun. Let's just dive straight into the Spanish Grand Prix, round number 4 here of F1 2016 Mobile at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, and we're underway, and it's a great start compared to Felipe Nasr and Ericsson and Wehrlein as well. It's been a fantastic start on their softest compound of tyre, but in the end I have to back out because Gutierrez moved straight across me there down into the braking zone of turn 1. This is going to be absolute carnage, but there's space on the outside, lots of cars on the grass, and we found loads and loads of room on the outside, made up lots of places, and we're all the way up into P13, and there's Verstappen running round on the grass there next ahead of me. We're side by side with the McLaren of Fernando Alonso, and I've gone slightly deep into the corner there. That's going to allow Rio Haryanto to get past me, so it's been a fantastic start from the Monegasque in the Manor car as well. So what a crazy first lap this has been for us so far, P22 to P13, as we head up through the middle sector. I'm being put under all sorts of pressure by Wehrlein, so both the Manors had a fantastic start to this Spanish Grand Prix. As we now cut to the start of lap number 4, we're still following the McLaren of Fernando Alonso. There's not much going on in the opening few laps of this race. I believe it's still a 1-2 for Mercedes, so Rosberg isn't out of the Grand Prix just yet. Anyway, we're still trying to follow Fernando Alonso here, but obviously it's very difficult to overtake here in Barcelona, so I'm still considering strategy. I feel like because track position is so important, we're going to try and do a one-stop, soft to hard tyres, and obviously we've gone for a more sort of downforce based setup, so we can have higher speed in the corners, even though the AI are OP on the straights, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. But speaking about tyres and strategy, it's already time for us to dive into the pit lane for our one and only stop of this Spanish Grand Prix. At the end of lap number 6, we're going to fit the hard tyres and aim to make it to the end of the Grand Prix. So we're going from soft straight to hard, very simple one stop. And hopefully this means we won't need to come into the pit lane again. So let's hope for a good stop from the boys then, as we're going to approach the pit lane now. What kind of length of a pit stop is it going to be? The estimated is 2.3. In the end we get 2.4. However, we're still, where are we going to be emerging from the pit lane? The answer is, as it stands, P17, but I believe there's a Sauber or a Toro Rosso or something coming down the straight, and the auto queue, well, it just slows you down on pit exit. Otherwise we'd have been ahead of Carlos Sainz there, so that's slightly annoying. But anyway, we're all the way down in P18, so despite the fact that we're not making another stop, well, it still could be a very long Grand Prix for us, and I think it's going to be very difficult for us to be able to score some points. But let's see if we can chase down Sainz in his home Grand Prix, as I just dibble a tyre on the grass there, and now I'm going to get put under pressure from Jenson Button. And I mentioned a second ago the AI being OP on the straights. Well, just look at that. How am I even supposed to be able to compete with that? even with a downforce related setup, but Button brakes really early for turn 1, which means we can just sail back round the outside of the McLaren. And also, I don't know if you noticed there on the right hand side was the Red Bull of Max Verstappen leaving the pit lane, so it's another dismal race weekend for the young Dutchman in his debut season. Of course, we're pretending it's 2016, seeing as that's when the game is. So yeah, he's only scored 1 point in the opening 3 races as Verstappen, and he's had, relatively good grid slots. I don't know if you've been watching the starting grid sequence, but Button still putting me under tons and tons of pressure in the middle sector. But eventually, the Red Bull is a much quicker car than the McLaren. So now, as you can see in my right wing mirror, that's Max Verstappen all over the back of me, and he immediately pounces on an opportunity when I go deep. However, I'm going to send it down the inside again. Yes, I'll admit I was probably way too over-aggressive there, but this is for net position, and I do want to make sure I fight the Red Bull. It might not be for points, but for anything, it's more about pride. And we've got the Renault with Kevin Magnussen up ahead of us, as obviously we're already on to lap 10 of the Grand Prix, and nothing's happening. So hopefully, as we nab some DRS off the Renault, Verstappen, though, he's going to try and send it, but I need to try and cover him off there, and thankfully we managed to achieve that, as this is the start of lap number 13, and that's Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber sailing past me, but he moves in the brake zone so aggressively. What on earth is the Swede doing there? He had absolutely no reason just to come back onto the racing line and just cover me off like that. That was so dangerous, and I managed to react quickly enough, thankfully, to avoid losing my front wing. Otherwise, that would have been an absolute disaster for us. But unfortunately, I just run wide there. The dirty air and tyre wear is becoming far too much for me. This is just painful, because not only are the AI good at this circuit, but this is also not one of my strongest circuits in the game. However, the reason why I stuck it in the calendar was because normally it produces really exciting races. Like I did a Spanish Grand Prix gameplay video a couple of months ago, and that involved Daniel Ricciardo winning the race, Grosjean getting on the podium, and a double DNF for Mercedes. So it was that kind of thing, which is why I was hoping for again, which is why I put it back in the calendar. But I'm now having to defend from the Haas of Esteban Gutierrez. I went a little bit deep in the end into turn 10, but thankfully it didn't matter, and we remain ahead of the Mexican. As we look to the start-finish straight, and there goes Gutierrez once more, and Verstappen is behind him next, trying to put me under pressure, but I cover him off, and I'm going to send it again, because Gutierrez, well, he was just very slow into the brake zone, and this is Danny Kvyat next. As more cars enter the pit lane, we get pushed into P14, but it's going to be a few steps forward, 1 step back, or maybe still 1 step forward, as in the end Kvyat pulls alongside me but doesn't manage to make the move stick into turn 1. There's only 3 laps to go now in this Grand Prix. And we're on to the last lap of the race now. Lewis Hamilton, my God, he is a monster. He has just won 4 races in a row here at the start of the 2016 season. But for us, it's been a very disappointing race weekend overall, from messing up my lap in qualifying. It's only going to be P13 for us here in Spain. This one was a race to forget, but hopefully we can improve our result next time out in Monaco. Ladies and gentlemen, there's your race results, and well, my teammate Sergio Checo Perez managed to get himself onto the podium. Rio Haryanto finished P6. Daniel Ricciardo finally gets the podium after so many good qualifyings this season. He's not been outside the top 4, and finally the Australian gets his first podium in the Drivers' Championship. There you go, Manos get their first points. We slip down to 9th place, but Lewis Hamilton is on more than double points of that of his teammate Nico Rosberg, who only finished 4th today. And in the Constructors, we move up into 4th place. Mercedes running away with it, as they always do. We managed to jump McLaren with Perez's podium. Sauber, the only team yet to score. And anyway, guys, that's it for episode 4 of F1 2016 Mobile Career Mode. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, share and subscribe. Let's get to 250 subscribers. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and join my Discord. Both links are in the description below. And I'll see you guys all next time. Goodbye.